We are in 2025. The administration said we are having mass deportations of anybody that is illegal in this country. If you cross the border illegally and committed no other crimes, you are still a criminal because you crossed the border illegally. It's just such a surprise to so many illegal immigrants that they're like, we don't know why we're being attacked. We don't know what. Well, pay attention to the news, people. Pay attention. This is why it irks me when people are like, well, I don't really care. I don't like to follow the news. It's so negative. Okay, well, when happens in your town or in your city or to you specifically, you're going to be that saying, why are they doing this to me? Well, if you turn on and pay attention to what's going on in this country, you would know that there's laws in place, and when you break the law, there's consequences. The law will come after you, they will detain you, arrest you, and in some cases, depending on what it is, will deport you out of this country.
There is anger that has been building up over this video of an arrest, video that's gone pretty viral by Border Patrol agents in Southern California. It was caught on cell phone. We're going to show it to you, but it is, of course, disturbing. You can see somebody on the ground surrounded by multiple Border Patrol agents. So you can see he's getting essentially punched in the head while being held down. He then gets loaded into a car. There's people in the video you can hear in the background asking, why are the officers hitting him? And just this afternoon, you had the Department of Homeland Security pushing back, saying that this man assaulted federal law enforcement officers with a weed whacker, calling media coverage a completely slanted portrayal. They posted another angle where you can see the man running with the weed whacker. It doesn't necessarily show an assault that we can tell. This man, now confirmed by NBC News to be Narciso Barranco, a landscaper working in Santa Ana. One of his sons, telling us that all of his children are American citizens, either active duty Marines or veterans, and telling Julia Ainsley it is not in his father's character to attack anyone, that he was in fact acting out of fear.
They had their guns out. He was scared. They didn't have any type of identification on the front of their vests, so he just ran away.
What led to the moment that we saw in that video, and what has happened since then?
Kat, well, we spoke to the son, who was the oldest son, who was on his way to visit his father in ICE detention. He said his dad was on his way to a landscaping job. He is an illegal immigrant. He came to the country from Mexico. He'd been trying to get legal status in the country for some time. He had 3 U.S. citizen children who served with the Marines. But he said that he was picked up and...
Look how old his kids are. If they're all U.S. citizens, that means he came here illegally before they were born, correct? If he came here before they were born, that means he had plenty of time to figure out how to get his citizenship in this country. The father chose not to. We are in 2025. The administration said we are having mass deportations of anybody that is illegal in this country. If you cross the border illegally and committed no other crimes, you are still a criminal because you crossed the border illegally. They're showing up to your work. They're gonna detain you and arrest you, verify that you're not supposed to be in this country. And this gentleman's gonna use his weed whacker as a defense mechanism because he's fearful of neglecting his own responsibility to keep his citizenship or his status here in America. It's not an excuse. It looked like in my opinion, the video looks like he was not being compliant to the officers. They were trying to restrain him to cuff him.
And he didn't understand who it was who was chasing him. This is according to the son. Now, DHS has a much longer statement on this. They say that the illegal immigrant ran. They're talking again about this man's father here. They're saying that he ran and then he would turned around swinging what was a weed whacker directly at an agent's face. He then he rushed through a busy intersection and he raised a weed whacker again. They go on and on, Hallie, really to say that he resisted the commands and that he did not identify himself. In this case, I think what's happening, though, and we're seeing this time and time again, is people not knowing who these agents are. And so they're putting up a defense thinking that these are masked men without any kind of identification on the front of them exactly saying who they are. And so we asked the son, did they use minimal force? Because according to that statement, they said DHS and ICE officers, and in this case, Customs and Border Protection, are trained to use the minimum amount of force necessary. I asked him if that happened. Here's what the son said.
Absolutely not. I think it was the maximum, right before using lethal force because they were beating on his head. For 200 plus guys, 200 plus pound agents or whatever they were, beating a 5'7", 150-pound guy with no type of weapon. So no, I don't think it was the minimum amount. And I don't think they handled it professionally.
And he says, Hallie, that the reason the weed whacker was there was it was his father's landscaping business, and he was trying to basically defend himself, not hurl it at anyone. And he says the first thing his father said when he called him from detention was to tell him he was okay, to ask him to go finish the job that he started at someone's home, and to make sure his gear and his truck were safely packed away.
I'm glad you had a chance to talk to the Sun because there's been a lot of attention around this incident. And part of what DHS said in response to this, Julia, was that, assaults against law enforcement, against our law enforcement officers and teams and agents are up. We also saw the agents in that video masked in baseball caps. That's becoming more and more common, right?
Yeah, not only is it becoming more and more common, people I talk to, ICE officers, former ICE agents, say it's unprecedented. Basically, they would have never used that kind of disguise when going out to arrest someone. They wanted people to know who they were. That way, there wouldn't be assaults. And they said, frankly, if someone were to chase them dressed in the same garb, they would also put up a fight, because there are some cases where you think you might be getting kidnapped.
They were wearing some kind of insignia.
Sometimes it might just say police, but then of course you do have vigilantes who could, in that case, in some cases that we've seen, try to pretend to be some kind of police. It's a really confusing, chaotic time right now. The Sun said that his father knew it was a risk every day when he went to work, that he could possibly be picked up. I don't think this is exactly how he expected this to unfold, though. How?
I completely agree with that, because nobody should be masked. If you're law enforcement, if you're rioting, whatever reason, you should not be masked in America unless it's for health purposes and you need something covered to prevent your germs or your infection or virus or whatever from spreading to other people. But if you're out there on the streets and you're conducting law enforcement, you should not be covering your face. I don't care what the excuse is. Because whatever excuse is out there, I'm going to hear it. Well, then why aren't all military members covered? Why isn't the President of the United States covered? Why isn't it begs too many questions. Everybody needs to be seen and heard. The kids, they're going to be defending their father, obviously. But we know the intentions of what this government was doing. Everybody knows. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Till next time. Peace out, everybody.